Okay, I'm back, and a fellow's asking me about to talk more about the law of attraction and the game. And I've done a whole series on this before. There's a lot of new people on the channel. I recognize that you guys are not aware of that. Also, I offer the law of attraction course, 15-day course within my Confidence Kicker program, and maybe I'll put up some of those videos also in the future. But when you understand the concept, how the universe works, like does attract like, then you can really understand the game. I mean, it really makes logical sense. Like attracts like. I talked about how when I was at McDonald's one day, I saw two nerds dating each other, and they both had their big goggle glasses on, and they both looked really smart, thin, with the high foreheads, the big heads up there, both of them. But they're, attractive couple, and they're sitting there talking to each other. I don't know, doing Einstein theory shit stuff or some smart thing, but they obviously look really intelligent. And I'm just going by looks, but just you could tell nerds. Okay, they both were made for each other. Also, perfect relationship. They have little nerdlet kids and stuff like that. And nice. Anyway, they're the same vibrational level. They're here. Okay, they speak the same language, and they have a great feeling for each other. A long time ago, when I was first went to college, as I talked about in my last video, I took a interpersonal communications course, and we had a speaker come in, and he was talking about relationships. He was saying, stuff like interracial relationships are hard because there's not that much in common. He said the more you have in common, the better and stronger the relationship will last. That's why, I've said, the best thing for an Asian man is an Asian woman. The best thing for a black man is a black woman. Best thing for a white man is a white woman. Okay? But today's society, we find love in all these other places. But it's harder to make those relationships work. It is hard. Like, I'm into African American history. I'm into African history and stuff like that. Jovine's not really into that. She only listens because, I want to talk about it. I can tell she don't really give a fuck. It's like, Caucasian folks don't give a fuck. And, she fits in that same category. So, if I was still with my ex-wife, she'd probably be the same way too. She don't give a fuck either. But if I was with someone who was into that with me, who was also my same race, we'd have more in common. Okay? We'd have long discussions deep into the night, like what I want to do. But I've had long, deep discussions with, other people of other races, though. But they weren't in this area. Like I like discussing, when I was in my 30s, I like discussing man, problems with man. And I had one girl that was really smart, the bodybuilder chick. Her parents were professionals, and she was really, really smart. Or so she thought she was. And anyway, we had deep discussions. There's the two Susans I dated. One was Susie, one was Susan. Susie was the cute one. Remember me saying that? She was short and kind of stocky. She was half Portuguese, half Irish, and the other one was half Irish and half Italian. She was tall and slim, and wore mini skirts, had a perfect butt, long legs, and all that, and brains. Susie was simple. Susan, she fit the need of my intelligent needs when I need deep conversation. So I go over there and have sex and then talk. With Susie, it was all about, the connection and the great sex that we could achieve together. But I still got deep conversations. I tried it with Susie, and she's like a cave person standing at the stars. That's what I said about my ex-wife, too. One day we were outside, I was looking at the stars, and I started looking at the stars. She was like a little cave woman. So that's my joke. I tease her. I just teased her, in fact, last week about, on Valentine's Day, told don't look up at the stars. Anyway, being able to have a conversation is what you want. So a lot of the guys who are the smart guys go after these super hot chicks. You're mismanaged brain-wise. You guys are up here, their intelligence down here. You're not going to make a great couple. Whereas, the hot guys are kind of stupid, so they kind of match each other. Or they're about the same intelligence, they have the same superficial needs. That's another reason why, you might want to chase the girls that are more like you. Okay? The ones that are like you are going to be feeling you. If you tend to be more cerebral girls are going to be feeling you. Okay, so you got to, they got stringy hair, they need to wash their hair and floof it up and wear some makeup, and you can make those girls hot. Perfect example, if you ever watch that show Arrow, they got the girl with that European forehead that goes straight, a girl with it now, straight up. She's the blonde that does all the computer stuff. She's a cute chick. She actually wears makeup and nice little skirts and stuff. I'd bone that shit. She's just kind of hot to me. I like smart girls. I've always liked smart girls. Actually, I hated dumb girls. I don't know why. I hated average intelligent girls, I should say. So anyway, when you have more in common, you become more attractive because you have all these likes. All these likes can fit together. When the vibration is off, then it goes like this. And those kind of things rarely happen, I should say, as a relationship. They don't last long unless the girl's trying to get something from the other person, or one person trying to get something from the other person. Because there are lesser intelligent players who know how to play, hot chicks up here, who might just be hot in looks, but they can be up or down on the intelligence scales, but lesser players know how to play them. Say the right words. You say the right words to a woman, and she's gonna fall anyway, one way or another. And the right words are really just asking her questions about her life, taking a real interest in her. Think about a woman, how hard it is for her to get attention, for someone to really just listen to her. Think about how difficult that is for them out there. And when someone actually really pays attention. Now, in the nerd world, nerds have fear. So that fear equates to, I don't want to seem needy. Here's the problem with that. You already are needy. If you're afraid of being needy, you already are needy. And that's what your fear, your inner self is coming out. Okay? So you got to kill the neediness inside. I've never worried about being needy. I've called girls after I got the number as I'm leaving the club. Because I got hookups that way. Hey, give me a call when you get this message before you get home. And then next thing I know, I'm at home. Hey, why don't you come on over? You hear the line go dead for a moment as they think. Okay, where do you live? You guys be surprised how many times that's worked. But let me get back on point. I know I tend to ramble. I got so much in my head to say. The law of attraction states that like attracts like. Things of like energy are going to attract each other. Things of dislike energy will repel each other. That's how electricity works. You get a positive and negative together, it creates a pushing, pulling, alternating current type thing, right? Push, pull. If your energy is low, like you guys who come out low in the chakras, your energy, your overall energy is in the negative. So you're always pushing, repelling people who are more positive. If, like all men come out, ooh, that was my AOL, sorry about that. Let me kill that. Okay, that's done. All right. Now, as I was saying, all of my chakras came out in the positive. And if I were to get around someone who's negative, and I can't stand being around negative people, they repel me because I'm a positive, and these guys are a negative. So, of course, the positive, I'll just put it as a 0, is going to push away the negative is going to push away the positive. So if you have low self-esteem, if you have size of your dick issues, if you have height issues, if you have any kind of issues that's destroying your confidence, you're in the negative. That's why you're repelling people around you. Okay? People can't stand being around you. It's like they get a feeling when they come around you. And that's a sign that your inner energy is weak. Because negative draws away. So it pulls your aura, your masculine, your what do you call it? Your magnetic attraction out of you. Okay, so you have 0. And it's set to push. So you guys who are repelling women, you need to actually build your energy up. That means work on yourself. Get into those thoughts that's in your head. Because we tend to have a lot of negative self-doubting thoughts. Like one fellow in the last show, a pretty black girl sat next to him. He didn't do shit. That's because he's full of negative self-doubt, negative thoughts. Okay? His energy is in the negative. And if he tried to force him, actually, if he tried to force himself while he's got all that shit in his head, it's going to be more of a repelling thing. And he should actually fix himself first. Or practice while he's fixing himself, I should say. So, for you fellows who are in the negative, you want to work on the inner shit that's causing you to be in the negative. Like if your heart chakra is closed, and these are actual energy points in the body. Call them the way the spinal cord set up like this, stress points where gravity takes most of its toll, or whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it or how you rationalize it, they do exist. There are points in the body where your bioelectrical energy coalesces in certain spots. You get like little jamming points. So each spot represents a different area. And those things are mentally affected. Okay? So if your mental is fucked up about your sexuality or your sex stuff, your second chakra gets blocked up, which is where every one of you guys is stuck. Every last one of you guys listen to me has got probably in the negatives, if not low. Now you want a perfectly balanced one, which is like 50% or something in the higher positive, without it being overblown. When you're oversexed, then it becomes way in the positive when something's overactive. And when I did mine was 38. Why? Because I was out the game. I'd settled down. I took that test probably like 3 years after I'd settled down. I was out the game, but I still had, it came out at 38 plus 38. So that shows, that my sex drive had dropped way back to 38 because I didn't have a bunch of girls I was seeing at the time. Now, if I take that test when I was, let's say, 4 years or 3 years earlier, it would have been way in the overactive range. Okay? There are things about the chakras that you guys need to understand. And each chakra represents different aspects of your personality or you. The base chakra is the one at the tailbone. It represents, your grounding. I just read some more information on that also. People with mental problems, they tend not to be very weak in there. They tend to not channel the base energy up through their spine. Okay, if you got mental issues going on, you're going to be negative down there also. I always thought it was all about your family, your grounding to the earth, your grounding to your family, your tribe, and all that. But there's more to it, as I'm learning again. Your second one is about your sexuality, dealing with issues there, being able to go out and procreate, deals with procreation. I've known women that were adopted, and they can't conceive kids, but when they adopt another child in their life, all of a sudden they can conceive. Or people who are barren, you guys do your own work, research. Families who are barren, they adopt a child, suddenly the wife gets pregnant. That's amazing how that happens. So the chakra system can prevent a woman from conceiving. That's how powerful it is. Okay, next up is your third chakra, which is about 3 inches above your belly button. It deals with your own personal power issues, how you handle your environment, how you adapt to your environment, how you express yourself in your environment. You can't go right to that. People who do that one, who go back to there, they come across like little Napoleon types with no power. They're Napoleon wannabes. There's a fellow on this channel, or actually on the old channel, that wanted all my information on mind-fucking women because he wanted to become this master vampire dude. Go out there just, like a Charles Manson type. And I wouldn't give him any information. He's overactive in that area. Okay? He hadn't even handled the second one yet. When you handle the second one, that's your ability to attract women in your life. When you handle that, then you go on to that and start expressing your personal power in life, like as I did. Okay? After I handled the getting women is easy stuff, I started expressing my personal power. Became more powerful in my own world. Okay? I'm a dominant kind of guy. And that came naturally. I didn't have to force it. Women bowed to me naturally because that energy was flowing freely. Okay? Then I went up to the heart one. I learned to love. Then I went up to the throat one. I learned to speak like I'm speaking now. I'm speaking off the cuff right now, having a conversation with you guys. In my youth, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And if you were on my site when I first started, you remember me practicing. Think back when I said, okay, I'm not going to use my notes anymore, because all my past shows, they're the fucking bomb, because I use notes on all of them, and I spoke from notes. They're more organized, all that stuff. My current shows, I said I must learn to speak off the cuff, and you guys would call me saying I'm practicing, and my shows are a little quirky for a little while, then they smoothen out. I learned to speak off the cuff, and that really opened up that throat chakra. By the time I did the test, I think it was already open at 60-something percent, because I had also been doing Toastmasters and also doing the shows, my podcast shows. That got me to use my voice. So I learned to speak my truth, basically. Then your next chakra goes to your third eye chakra, which the third eye is actually your pineal gland. But it's just not open to just black folks. Caucasian folks can use that third eye too, from this perspective, because it teaches you to see what's really going on in life. That's what I believe it's about being able to see between the lines. Like when a girl says something, you can see the real truth there. It teaches me to see the truth. It's like a survival thing. I see when danger's out there. Okay, I see things coming to me. I get a feeling for things. That's where I've used it. Then you have your crown chakra, which is, they say, is your spiritual side. You know, coming down to the center of your head, the exact center. It's like the third eye and the crown, they meet in the center, right in the center of your head. And that's actually where the pineal gland is. We know if you're of Caucasian descent, your pineal gland is in a state that's called calcified. But there are other glands that are involved in it also, that in that whole process, are like the thalamus, and I believe it is, and there's another gland that's around it. So I don't know. I don't have any information on what the effects are. I'm reading a book right now about the pineal gland called Melanin: A Key to Freedom by Dr. Richard King. There's now starting to study the pineal gland. Black people are. Caucasian folks, they have a summit every year about it, but they don't invite any black scientists. That they should invite someone black to see what the black scientists actually learned about it. They began to discover that the pineal gland does serve a function when they start cutting open. According to one research project recently I listened to, in the Vietnam War, they started cutting open the black cadavers were coming back and saw their pineal glands were open and fully functioning. So they realized, okay, well, let's do some work on that. This is back in the 70s. So they realized, okay, it produces melanin and melatonin. It causes coloring of the skin and tells you when to get up and go to bed at night. Survival functions. That's all. But the ancient Egyptians said it had metaphysical properties. So it's the third eye, because I don't know how the Egyptians knew this, but inside the pineal gland are the almost exact same cells that's in your eyeball. Now, how did they fucking know to call that the fucking third eye? They didn't have electron microscopes and any of that kind of shit. How the fuck they know this shit? That's what I'd like to know. That's what turns me on, fellas, as I go off to another subject. How the fuck they know this? Called the third eye. Anyway, that's my short dissertation on the chakras. I am trying to develop a product for you guys to help you turn those chakras on and flow your energy. It's a meditation program. Years ago, I had a series of them that I used to give to my clients. There were 8 of them, 7 or 8 of them. No, 7. And I spent time on each one. I had the big master book on chakras and meditation scripts, and I did it from there. I want to recreate that and do it just for the game, though. Those meditations, just for the game, to empower you in your life and in the game. Open them up and have you, just like in my sex product, I have a meditation designed just for you to focus on your dick, to empower your dick. Okay? Give you dick power. In fact, that's what I call it, dick power. So for this, I want to have one just for the chakras, so you guys can turn your negative stuff around and get more into positive, so you can radiate positive energy, so people will women will feel you, because women feel vibes. They're not cut off from their psychic center, so to speak. They get a feeling. And there's one guy that's with the TFL people. That's the True Force Loneliness. These are people, in case you don't know, on the internet. They're a cultist-like group now. They're a group now, and they've given up on women. They call it True Force Loneliness. They force themselves into loneliness because they want hot chicks, even though they're not hot chick material. If they can't have the hot chick, they'll just be lonely. That's what I gather. Okay, they won't take a girl that's really overweight and with warts all over her face just to have someone to love them. Okay, and they look like they're 400 pounds themselves. They won't do that. Or they're these creepy, weird skinny little guys. They won't take a creepy skinny little girl and have great skinny little creepy love together. They want that smoking hot blonde babe that's on the beach. That's what I'm gathering. So if they can't have that, they fucking give up. Now the leader says that it's because of the sexual stuff that's going on in current society, and I can see that point that he was talking about also. Bill Greathouse is saying that women are pretty harsh today. They're very judging, very superficial, and if you're not good looking, you don't go out with them. But these women are good looking. I say they deserve good looking guys to go out with. I don't hate for that. I understand. I learned to work around it. So I'm not going to force myself in true loneliness because good-looking chicks out there only want good-looking guys. I'm going to find the back door to that shit. I'm a man. I push for things. I figure things out, like the rest of you guys should do. Okay? You shouldn't want to give up on anything, especially as men, because that's what designed the entire world is men that we're willing to push and keep trying. We wouldn't have society if we didn't have men like that out there. Okay? I know I've talked for 20 minutes, and I hope you understand what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. And I'll see you guys in the next show. My dinner is done. I'm going to watch the UK version of Being Human. I'm on season 4. So I'm excited. Peace.